Hey, welcome, guys. Late at night, Universal Baseball Association, yeah, YouTube channel. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm your host, Tony Porter, and we're playing some tabletop baseball using Fall Classic. I started on this project 2007, and remember, like and subscribe to my channel. Also, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I started on this project because 2007 was the debacle or the collapse of the Mets in September, and I was the one of the last seasons where I was living in New York. So anyway, I got a game here. It's the third game of the series. The Cardinals at home versus the Mets. And one thing that I've noticed about the Mets is they have a consistent lineup. So they're playing pretty much the same eight guys every game. Their pitching is problematic for sure. They have really no ace. They have Tom Glavine, but not pitching like Tom Glavine of the 90s, right? In this game, it's Braden Looper against John Maine. John Maine had got off to a rough start in the first inning, gave up a two-run homer and then a double and a single and so on and so forth. So he gave up, I believe, 3 runs, and the Mets trail right now. The Mets are trailing 3-0. It's 3-5-0 for the Cards, and 0-1-0 for the Mets. All right. So let's continue on. Edmonds is a second base, and there's one out, and it's Preston Wilson at the plate. I don't know a lot of these players, so it's interesting to look at their data. What their range is, what their arm strength is, what their error rating is, and so on, and so their speed, and how they hit. Were they a power hitter? Did they walk? Did they have a high batting average, and so on and so forth. So let's see what happens, and I'll share this out a little bit with you guys. And I hope you're all doing well in these crazy times. And let's roll some dice. And that's going to be a 15, which will be a swing and a miss. That's a big K for John Maine. So, all right. Next up is Yadier Molina. Edmonds takes his lead off second. 2 outs now in the bottom of the third. And that's going to be a 55. That's going to be line for a base hit. And a 9 is going to tell us that's one base is going to be a play at home on the right fielder. Right fielder Green. All right. Right fielder Green is arm rating from right field is a 1. So on a 1, he's out. Otherwise, he is safe. Same thing for second base. I'll do the same thing. He'll take the extra base here with 2 outs. So it's an RBI single, 4-0. Runner on second scores. Runner at home takes an extra base. So Molina hustles over to second base, and it's going to be a guy named Miles. Now, Aaron Miles, he's an infielder, outfielder, batted 290. So I already walked him once. I think I'm going to walk him again. I'd rather face the Braden Looper, who batted 190. All right, so it's a 4-0 score now. And it's going to be a 44, which is going to be a 1-15. That's a base hit single. And a 13, if the runner is fast, is Molina fast? Because he will score if he is. And Molina is, no, he is slow. So he will hold up at third base, luckily for us. All right, so it's a ground ball up the middle, knocked down by Valentine. He keeps it in the infield and prevents Molina from coming around to score. So that brings up Eckstein. Eckstein today is 1 for 2. He singled and then grounded to the third baseman. So the screen for the Digital Diamond Baseball is very helpful. It gives you a lot of information. Like, it'll talk about NL batting leaders, 2007. It'll give me all the data on the pitchers. It'll give me all the data on the batters. It'll tell me what he's done today specifically, all on the screen at once. And at the bottom, it'll give me it will give me the lineup, right? All right, so X9 against John Main, who's got the bases loaded here with 2 outs. So let's hope he can extricate himself from this situation so I don't have to go to the bullpen early, because that's going to mess me up. Here's pitch. And that's a 52 with a 9. So that 9 is a KD check. It's going to be too high because it's 1 to 5 on Main. It would be a K, and I wouldn't have to check the error rating. Now, 52 is a ball hit to the second baseman, and it could potentially be a throwing error. And that's a 7. So let's see, Valentin. Let's see what kind of number Valentin has on this. At second base, Valentin is a 5. So he'll make that play. Bobbles it for a split second. Flips to Reyes at short. And we get out of the inning. Hallelujah. 4-6 put out. All right. We got out of that one. Barely. All right. Here's Lo Duca. Paul Lo Duca. 120 games, 450 at bats, 270 average, 10 home runs. Braden Looper. Winds and deals. And it's a 31. That's going to be a base hit. Center fielder's not going to be a 20. I don't care what Edmonds is. It's not going to be that good. Because I rolled really high. He's a 7 range. So I play that as a range play. Not an official rule, but kind of like a homebrew rule. I just like adding the additional defensive element to it. Just feel it works well. All right, and here's Carlos Beltran with a runner on first base. See if the Mets can get something going. Here's a pitch, and that is a 54. Now, 54 is a wild pitch or a pass ball. It will not be either, so it's blocked by the catcher, Molina. All right, and let's roll again. And it's a 12, and that'll be a 13. Now, if the second baseman has a strong arm, it will be a double play. Otherwise, it's a fielder's choice. Miles at second base has an average arm, so it's going to be a 6-4. 6-4 fielder's choice. So Beltran is on, trades places with Lo Duca. 1 out, and here's power hitter Carlos Delgado. Hit 24 home runs in 140 games that season. Here's a pitch from Looper, 31. And this time it's a 9, so this is going to be a right field Preston Wilson. Let's see what happens there. Preston Wilson in right field will run that down. Yes, he will. Got a good read on that ball right off the bat, F9. And that is out number 2. And it's David Wright. This is a pretty good lineup for the Mets. They were competitive with this lineup for several years. And pitch, and that is going to be a 34, and that's going to be a base hit up the middle. And a 9 is going to tell us, oh, there's a play at the plate. Oh no, he's at first. Excuse me. So with 2 outs, there would be a play at the plate. We're gonna hold him up at second base because we don't want to make the third out at third base, especially down by 4 here, almost in the middle of the ball game. It's gonna bring up Moises Alou, who had a terrific year. 341 he batted in 330 at bats, 87 games, played half the season. He's a right-handed hitter. He hit 13 home runs in that time, so proportionally with that 26 home runs. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a 62, and that'll be a grounded to third. He'll step on the bag, and that, my friends, is it for this inning for the Mets. They leave a couple on base stranded, and we move to the bottom of the 4th, hoping Maine can get through a few innings. Chris Duncan at the plate, bats from the left side. 2007. I don't know how many games I'm going to play really with this season project. I may just bounce around a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. This is a high fly center field. Beltran. 1 down, so he flies out. 1 away, and Pujols has a hit today. It's a 53. KD check is too high because he's 1 to 5. And a 6, so it's going to be to the shortstop, and Reyes will get this. I don't even have to look. I know Reyes is at least a 6 range. Come on now. Yeah, he's a 12 range with very low error rating and an average arm. for that season, and that translates into how many double plays he turned, right? Okay, Scott Rowland with 2 outs, and that's going to be a 45. That'll be an out, fly ball, right field, down the line, Green, and chases it down. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Let me know. Let me know what you're playing. Let me know how your project is going. I'm always interested. Talk to the group. All right, the tabletop baseball friends out there. Sean Green. Green batted .291, so he had a good season with a 12, and that'll be ball lifted to left, and Duncan is out there. F7, 1 down. Jose Valentin is next with a 51. A KD check will be a 1-2, so that's too high because I rolled a 7 with 20. No way this is going to be an error. Shortstop, no way. Eckstein, I didn't even know he was the shortstop. Yeah, he's got a low range and a medium error at an 8, but definitely not a 20. So that's a ball that he can handle and throws a strike over to first. And here's John Maine, the pitcher, batting at the top of the 5th. And it's a 35. It could be a single, and it is a ground ball through the hole. So it's a 2-out single for the pitcher, John Maine, who had 6 hits and 55 at bats, and somehow picks one up here. All right, Jose Reyes, 280 hitter, 12 triples, 12 home runs, 80 stolen bases, by the way. How cool is that? 55. That's a base hit in the gap. And a 19, we'll have the runner move over 2 on this. And it does give me a chance to steal a base. Reyes' stolen base percentage is 16. The catcher, Molina, may subtract from that. He subtracts 2, so it brings it down to a 14. Now, if you feel that that's not enough, you could always make it a 3 and bring it down to a 13. I just play it that way. It doesn't matter. I don't know that I'm going to steal right now and take that risk down by 4 runs, because LaDuca hits a home run here, and the score is 4-3. So I want to give him a chance to see what he can do. Looper does give up some home runs. He's a 1-12 on pitcher card, and then of course LaDuca. LaDuca would probably only hit a home run off the pitcher card in this case. And the pitch, and that's a 35, and that's going to be a base hit. And a 16 is going to tell us what? A 16 is going to be a 1 base advance, so the Mets are on the board. Paul LaDuca comes through with 2 outs. That puts runners on first and second, and the tying run is at the plate. So a home run here by Carlos Beltran, who hit 33 dingers, 276 average, 112 RBIs, 70 walks. He played pretty much the whole season, 145 games, almost 550 at bats, over 600 plate appearances. All right, so Braden Looper against Carlos Beltran with the tying run at the plate. Let's see what the Mets can do. They've lost the first 2 games of the 3-game series so far. And the pitch, and that is going to be a 66, and that's a deep drive to right field, way back. Wilson looks up, and this game is tied. 3-run blast by Carlos Beltran. So the Mets have tied it up with a 66. Holy smokes. This is for those APA guys, right? Love the 66s. Well, this game followed that. This game, I guess, people tried to market to a little bit of APA lovers and saying, hey, you still got your 66, man. Yeah, Carlos Delgado up now. So the Mets have tied it up with 4 runs here in the top of the 4th. The pitching coach is going to go out to talk to Looper. And it is Carlos Delgado, left-handed hitter. 2 outs. All this with 2 outs, by the way. 46 ballpark. And he's a lefty, so you look at the ballpark card. The ballpark card is right here. 16 says it's a foul out to the 3rd base side. Chasing it down is Rowland, and he comes up with it over-the-shoulder catch for Scott Rowland. in foul territory. F5. And that retires the side, all tied up at 4 apiece. All right, here's Jimmy Edmonds. Pitch from Maine with 34 and grounded short. Easy pickings for Reyes. 1 down. Preston Wilson with a 15, strike 3 called. 2 down. And here's Yadier Molina. Molina today is 2 for 2. And a couple RBIs. He's got 2 RBIs, 2 singles. Pitch. And he's going to be 46 with a 9. That's going to be a foul ball. Into the stands, a souvenir for a lucky fan out there. And here's a pitch from Maine again. And that's going to be a 4. It looks like a 41, and that'll be ball 4. So Molina shows patience and makes it to first. That brings up Aaron Miles, who's been walked twice. He's got 2 intentional walks today, I believe. And that's going to be a 36. And that'll be a bounce to short. Reyes flips to Valentine, and that retires the side. G6-4. So I always have a tendency to let the pitchers go just a little bit longer. That's my natural tendency. Push them that extra inning. All right, Looper. They're still good. They're still in good shape. Looper pitched 175 innings. Maine pitched 191 innings. So for this time period, these guys, anybody near 200 innings is basically a full-time guy. He's going rather deep into games. That's what it is. It is what it is. This is a late night game. I got to bed early, relatively 9. Woke up about 1:30ish. And I slept a little bit, so consecutively, so that's good. So I'll probably fall asleep again in a couple hours and sleep for another 2 or 3 hours, and I'll be fresh. All right, David Wright, 325 hitter with 30 home runs. He played 160 games, by the way. That's a 44. That's ripped. Base hit. That's in the gap. That's gonna split the outfield, roll to the wall, digging for second is right, and he's in there with a leadoff double. So wouldn't it be fantastic if the Mets can win this game? They're 0-2 here in the first series of the season. 2 close games. They weren't bad. All right, here's Moises Alou. The pitch, and that's a 31 and an 18. That's going to be a blooper, check swing blooper. That drops in for a base hit. First baseman Pujols is not going to get that. Just no way. He's got it. Because I rolled really high on that range play. And that's, oh, wait a second. He makes a sliding grab of that pop-up. Holy smokes. His range is a 20. And I rolled an 18, and he makes that catch. Holy smokes. Pujols had a tremendous range in 2007, so it's a pop 3. And Pujols robs Alou of a hit. Not an RBI, but a hit. Because right with he would have scored with 2 outs. With less than 2 outs, they have to wait. It's like a bloop hit that kind of drops between several players. I play it as that, or a check swing, or Texas League, or a little seeing eye that's knocked down before it gets into the outfield. That sort of thing. So with fewer than 2 outs, you wait, you hold, and you watch the ball. With 2 outs, you're just running on contact. All right, so that's 1 out now, and it's going to bring up Sean Green against Braden Looper. And here, all tied at 4. Here's a pitch, and that's a 14, which will be a hard hit ball right at the center fielder, who doesn't move very much. It's an L8. No tagging on this. Hit too hard. And Valentine. Now, Valentine batted 240, so we're not going to walk him. Here's a pitch. Oh, it's a 44. That's a base hit single, and on that, too, the Mets will take the lead 5-4. Base hit. Around to scores right. And ball is cut off. Runner on second scores. Now what do we do here? Okay, it's the top of the 6th. Maine is up. Runner on first. I can push him, you know what? With 2 outs. And now we got the lead. Let me just let him bat. He did have 60 at bats that season. 61 now should be. It's a high fly center field. Edmonds comes in. Eckstein and Miles both go out, but it is Edmonds who squeezes it for the out. All right, so the Mets come up with one big run. They take a 5-4 lead after being down 4-0. So you've seen the pretty good. Oh, Maine is tired. Why didn't I pinch hit for him? That's one thing that gets me. You know what? I'm gonna. What can I do? Let me back up. Undo last play. All right, so I am gonna pinch hit for him. Let's see. John Maine, pinch hit. We are gonna pinch hit. Let's call on somebody. Let's call on anybody. It doesn't matter who it is at this point. Let me see. Bench. Let's call on a guy named Lastings Millage. So let's call on Lastings Millage. And he's just going to we're going to use the same number. We're not going to re-roll for him. No, I wouldn't do that. Come on now, guys. My son just scored 134 on an ethics exam in law school. The passing score was 85. So he said he maybe probably studied too much. So I told him, you'll never get a job in government, my son. Not with that, score in ethics. You have to really basically just barely pass that test if you want to go into politics. Where's Millage? Where's my buddy Millage? Can't find him. Oh, here he is, all the way at the bottom of the pile. Nice thing about this game is, check this out. Look at that. Get all the cards. You don't have to worry about playing guys that weren't playing or were playing on other teams. So Lasting Millage. So you get to learn about the season and the players and how they did and what and so forth. I like that about it. Okay, so Millings will pinch hit, and he will 61. Same thing. It's going to be the same result. And that result was a 61. What was that result? It was a fly ball center field. All right. And here is going to be, we need a new pitcher for the Mets. Let's see. Now we got a pinch hitter. We're going to call on a pinch hitter for the, this is where the game slows down a little bit in the modern games, right? I'm not a big modern guy. I'm not a big, huge modern guy. What do we got? 12 games. Okay. Percentage of usage. We're going to call on middle setup Burgos again. Burgos, I think, pitched three games in a row. Set up Heilman. Aaron it looks like Heilman. We're gonna call on Heilman to come, and he's a righty. Let's see, what do they got at the top of the order? They got a righty and a lefty, and then a righty. Yeah, we'll go with Heilman. All right, he'll bat ninth. And then we're gonna call on pinch hitter for Looper. We're gonna call on a lefty if we have one sitting around. We got Adam Kennedy. We can pinch. Yeah, we'll use him. Let's call on Adam Kennedy. See if we can find him. Check out this. I had to print out a lot of cards. I cut. You have the perforated cards, but that costs a lot more money. I just used 90-pound paper, and I already learned to cut them out by sight. Pretty good. I'm decent at it. Not perfect for sure. But I am. Here's Adam Kennedy. He's a lefty. He will be batting for Braden Looper against John Maine. Heilman. I gotta get Heilman in there. That's another thing I didn't do. I think the other day I was so sleepy that I made a change on the screen, but I didn't change it in the cards here. Usually I do the opposite. Usually I'll change it on the cards, but I won't change it on the screen. And then, okay, here's Aaron Heilman. I got to roll to see what kind of stuff he has. And he will have his B stuff. So I use these little cutouts. And I'm going to go back to 1980. I'm really getting the itch for 1980. So after this series, I'm going to go back to 1980. Where is the darn... Hold on, I got to move some stuff here. There it is. Got to move some stuff. I got my 74 out too. You know, I'm playing that big 5-team replay, right? All right. Heilman, I think it's that... I don't think you say Hellman, right? Hellman? It's Heilman, I believe. All right, and let's start bottom of the sixth. Nobody out. Adam Kennedy, 220 hitter, pinch hitting for the pitcher. Here's page 65, and that's a -5. It's a 2. That's a deep drive down the line. If that stays fair, that's gone, and that's a home run. Game is tied. Wow. -5 makes it a 2. 1 to 2 is a home run, and I roll a 1. That ball is out of here, my friends. So Adam Kennedy with a pinch hit home run in the bottom of the sixth has tied this game up. Ouch. What a rude welcome for Heilman. Here's Eckstein. Eckstein today's 1 for 3. Singled and then grounded out and hit into fielder's choice. 66, and that's a drive down the line. Fair ball into the corner. Luke plays the carom. Digging for second is Eckstein. Here's the throw to second, not in time, so it's a double with nobody out. So Heilman 2 batters, and it's given up 2 hits. Here's Duncan. Yeah, this guy's not a bunter or anything like that. We're going to let him bat, or we go to the bullpen. Let's see, then Pujols we can walk. And then we face Scott Rowland. He's not a great splits guy anyway, so we're not going to freak out. Let's just pitch to Duncan. Here goes. 43, and that'll be an out. It's a tapper right back to the mound. And runner will hold on this. So it's a G1. Runner on second H. Runner on second holds. And now it's going to be Pujols. Now we're going to walk Pujols, who batted .330 with 32 home runs. Let's intentionally walk him, set up a double play, and face Scott Rowland, who's a .260 hitter. All right. Oh, Heilman is tired already, so we're going to go to bullpen. I may have used him in the previous game. My last game went into, I was going to say overtime, went into extra innings. So who are we going to go? We're going to call on here. Let's call on Aaron. I think it was Aaron Seeley. Wasn't that his name? Aaron Seeley. So let's call on Aaron Seeley. He's another righty. There he is. Going to roll. See what kind of stuff. Now, not a great pitcher. Got a lot of hits on his card. I don't know why I'm calling on him. But I don't know that right now. So hopefully he can get 1 out. Because during the season, I'm not knowing how Aaron Seeley's not going to be any good, right? I'm hoping he is good. So I'm just going to, that's how I play this. I don't know. You can agree. I don't really play to win. I play to have, to experience the teams and so on. And think of the time period. And Tony La Russa was the manager for the Cardinals, right? That sort of thing. So Scott Rowland with first and second, 1 out, and it's Aaron Seeley, not very good. But then it's a lefty Edmonds, and then it's another righty Preston Wilson. Here goes. See what happens. I need a double play. 46. Oh, that's trouble. That's a drive, and that's going to drop in there. It's going to get cut off by Beltran. Eckstein's going to come around to score. Pujols to third. And Rowland is going to try to advance for a double on this one. He's going to try to stretch it to a double. We got to look at Carlos Beltran in center's arm. It's a 2, so 1 and a 2. He is out, and he is safe with a double. It's going to be second and third, and the Cardinals have taken the lead here. All right, now it's Jim Edmonds. We're going to walk Jim Edmonds. Again, setting up a double play. And we're going to face a guy named Preston Wilson. See if Aaron Sealy, I need a double play here. We're at double play depth. We're down by a run. I'm just playing for the double play of 54. Oh, God. That's going to be a min on base wild pitcher pass ball. And that is going to be, oh, he's got 0 wild pitches. So that is blocked by the catcher and not a pass ball because I rolled a 13 and no catcher goes up that high. That would be highly unlikely. But I'll check anyway. I'll look at LaDuca. LaDuca goes up to a 1 pass ball. So he didn't have a lot of pass balls. All right, so it's blocked. Smothered at the plate by LaDuca. And here we go again. Snake eyes, and that's going to be an out. And that's going to be hit right at Reyes. Flips to Valentine, over to Delgado. Just what the doctor ordered for the Mets. 6-4-3 double play. Ooh. Hallelujah. Sealy's a long distance guy. I should have maybe not have brought him in, but we need a new pitcher for the Cardinals. Who's going to be up for the Mets? Let's look at that. It shows you on the screen. It's going to be a switch hitter Reyes, a righty LaDuca, and a switch hitter Beltran. So at this point, it doesn't really matter who we bring in. We'll get somebody decent. Let's see. We got a lot of pitchers on these teams. Anthony, he's a rotation guy. Russ Springer. Let's go with Russ Springer. I kind of look and see who they're using and who they hasn't been used that much, and I try to use the guys that have not been used all that much. So let's grab Springer here. A lot of cards on these teams in 2007. That's why I don't know that I'm gonna be playing too much of the season. And I don't like seasons with the like super weak pitching. I like the pitchers. My son was a pitcher, so I like pitchers, and he was outstanding. He could really throw strikes. 8, so he's going to have his, I believe his C stuff here. Yep, he will have his C stuff. All right, against Jose Reyes. Top of the 7th inning. And it's a 16, which will be bounced to third, scooped up by Roland, over to first, 1 down. Next is Paul LaDuca. LaDuca today is 2 for 3, grounded out. Single twice, picked up an RBI. Snake eyes. And it's a line to left. Right there is Duncan. L7. 2 down, and here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran, 2 for 3. Pitch from Springer, 31. And an 8. It's going to be a range play on the second baseman. Aaron Miles at second base is a 9, so he makes a diving stop and on his feet, throws over to first in time. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game. All right, we're going to the bullpen. We're going to pull. So you know what? Sealy has. He's a long guy, so we're going to see if we can push him. Just if he allows anybody on base, we'll pull him. All right, here's Yadier Molina. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of 7th. 13. That's a pop-up. Right side, Delgado tracking it, and he's got it. Next is Miles. 33, that's line. Base hit center field, played on a hop by Beltran. And that's going to be it for our boy. Oh, pitcher's up now. So we are going to the bullpen. We're going to grab a guy named, let's see. Who are we going to grab? I'm going to grab Joe Smith. Oh no, Joe Smith's a little bit tired. Let's go to the second page. I got a setup guy named Scott Schoenweiss. Scott Schoenweiss. I got my closer, Billy Wagner. I got Feliciano. He's another. I'm going to bring in Feliciano. Pedro Feliciano. I'm itching to play a little Clemente. Alright, here goes. Pedro Feliciano, let's roll. See what kind of stuff he has. He will have his ace stuff, his best stuff. Adam Kennedy. No. The pitcher's up, so I gotta go to the bullpen and to the bench, call on somebody to pinch hit. Let's see who we're gonna get here to pinch hit. We've got Taguchi. Let's call on Taguchi. Not a great arm. Got a lot of W's. Weak arm. But he did have a few assists. They ran on him from left field. So the good thing about this game is your arm strength is represented, but so is your ability to throw out players. Because sometimes the guys with the worst arm are the ones that throw out the most players, right? Very few other games can do that, can match that up. I think that Inside Pitch tried to do it towards the end when they rewrote the rules. All right, here's a pitch from Feliciano. We got a runner on first. How did Miles get on first? Hold on a second. Oh, it's single. Okay, yeah, that's right. And that's a 54, so that's going to be a potential 10 for wild pitch, and that's going to go to the backstop and moving into scoring position is Miles. So wild pitch on Feliciano. And a pitch, and it's a 45. 45 is a ground ball to he's a righty, so it's to the shortstop. G6, runner on second will hold. So ground ball pitchers actually induce ground balls. Fly ball pitchers induce fly balls. All right, 2 outs and it's 16. There's a lot of intentional walks in this game. Here's a pitch, and that is going to be a 33 base hit with a 9. There's going to be a play at the plate by the right fielder. Green, what did we say Green was? Do you remember? Green's assist rating, I think, was a 1. Yeah. So on a 1, he's out at home. Otherwise, he scores. And Eckstein, we'll do 50-50 on this. Advance. Do we want to advance? On a 50-50, why not? 1, 2, 3, he's out. And he is out at second base. So it's going to be, this is a tricky one. So it's a single. Runner on second scores. Runner on 1 out. Advancing 1 base. There you go. All right. So let's move on to... Oh, Delgado, here he is. All right, we need a new pitcher for the Cardinals. And the score is, let's see, hold on a second. I'll do that in a second. Just let me get this pitcher here for the Cards. We're going to go to long middle. No, we're going to go to, that's your closer, your setup guy, Ryan Franklin. So let's get a Franklin. Let's roll for him, see what kind of stuff he will have. His bullpen roll, and he's going to have his ace stuff. And that is that. And now let's look at the score and so on. So the score now is 7-5. The Cardinals come up with a run. In that bottom of the 7th, we're in the top of the 8th. It's going to be Delgado leading off against Ryan Franklin. Pitch, and that's a 32, which will be bouncer to third. Rolling. Accurate throw to first, 1 down. Right, David Wright. 26, and that against a lefty, it's a hit. Otherwise, it's a ground ball to short. Eckstein charges, fires the first in time. Gets right by a step, and here's Moses Alou with a 35, and that'll be a bouncer to third. Rolling again. 3 up, 3 down. Easy inning for Ryan Franklin. Bottom of the 8th, Feliciano is still out there. And he's facing the guy named Duncan. Chris Duncan. We could pinch. Duncan is our left fielder, I believe. We're up by 2. Duncan. You know what? Let's pinch hit for him because he's lefty on lefty. So I'm gonna see if I grab a righty somewhere. See what I got. I got. Schumacher's enough. I don't have anybody else to pinch it. All right, so he's good back. 52. That's a possible error. Oh, a 6, maybe a second baseman. Valentine. I think Valentine was a 5. So he will make that play, I believe. He's a 5. So he just beat that 6. Just under that 6. Right? Alright, so he makes that play. G4. 1 down. Albert Pujols is next. Pujols today, 1 for 3. With a 52, that's another potential error. And a 7 to the right fielder. And it's Green. Sean Green in right field is a 3, so he'll make that catch. F9. And here's Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland today is 1 for 4. With a 51, that's a third possibility for an error. Oh, that's going to be an error for sure. Oh, that's an exotic error on the catcher. Wow, that's an unusual one. So let's look at LaDuca. LaDuca's error rating is a 1. So we're going to look at the exotic error for the catcher. Pitcher-catcher exotic error. Nobody's on base. So ball thrown down the first base line. Pitcher or catcher. Batter to second. So F. Batter to third. He is F. So it's a 3-base error on the catcher, LaDuca. So let's do that. So it's an E. 2 runner 0-1 advances 2 bases. Let's see if that'll work. Oh no, I gotta undo that. And I guess he advances 3 bases. So it's again it's an E2 runner at home advances to third. Oh, now he scored. What? Let's do it one more time. Okay. So it's an E2 runner on 1 advances 0 advances 2 bases. I need him on third base. There you go. I don't know. I thought I did that the first time. And Feliciano's tired, so we're gonna, and it's Edmonds. See if we have a lefty in the Mets bullpen. But we do. No, do we? Yeah, we have Scott Schoenweiss, or Schoenweiss. Excuse me, Schoenweiss. Let's grab him. A big part of this game in the modern era is just making pitching changes and pinch hitting. Not my cup of tea, to be honest with you. I don't know how you feel about it. Let me know what you think. Schoenweiss. All right, let's roll. See what kind of stuff he's got. He's got his A stuff. He will face Jim Edmonds. 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Schoenweiss. It's a 53. Oh, that's a rain. That's Katie check. He's a 1-4, so it fails there. And that's a 7. It's going to be a range play on the shortstop. Reyes will get it. I think he's a 12. It goes 6 to 3, and that retires the side. And Reyes is a 12, I believe. Yeah. So you learn the players, and it goes a little faster. Okay, so this is a save opportunity in the top of the 9th, so we're going to the closer. Isringhausen, I think it is, right? Isringhausen. That's your closer for the 2007 Cardinals, and he, I believe, plays with the Mets at some point. So he will bat ninth. I don't know who they used for defense here, to be honest with you, to make any defensive changes. Not totally sure. Let's see. Not gonna worry about it right now. Sean Green leads off against Isringhausen. I play these games and I feel like I accomplished something when I'm done with them. I don't know. There's so many great games that we have. I can't play them all just because of the whole cards, the space, the mindset, and and I work. So I don't have that much time to just play games all day like some other guys who are retired, right? All right, Green. And while physically I'm able, man, I wanna get out to the road. I want to get out. I want to live because someday, I'll be limited in terms of how much movement I can do. Like everybody generally, right? You slow down. So while I still have energy and I want to get out there and interact, be a part of society. I feel that if I retired tomorrow, I would kind of retreat into isolation at some level. And so anyway, Sean Green leads off here in the top. I'm philosophical tonight, guys. Top of the ninth. It's 7-12-0 for the Cardinals, 5-9-1 for the Mets. Sean Green leads off. He's 0 for 3 for today. Isringhausen, 53-10. That's a KD is a 1 to 5, so that fails. 13. This may drop in right fielder Wilson. I don't know where Wilson was. There he is, and it does drop in. A base hit. All right, so the tying run will come up to the plate. Valentine's up. And we will let him bat. This is a switch hitter. Pitch, and it's a 15, which will be a hard hit ball at the second baseman. Miles flips to Eckstein. Over to first, and it's a 4-6-3 double play. Not what we wanted. And now we're going to pinch hit. We're going to call on somebody here. Damon Easley. Let's see if we can find him. Oh, I'm itching to play long ball. The long ball is a trip because long ball actually was had an element of experimentation. And what they try to do is they try to set up teams. So the set they released in 77 would not be about 76, it would be about 77. They try to kind of put all the players on the 77 squad. So you were buying what you thought was usually games, right? Our games come in, you buy 77, but you're buying the 76 stats, and you get all the teams from 76, and you get the experience from 76. What long ball try to do is give you the 77 experience in the 77 set by moving players around over the winter. So who did I say I was gonna pinch it for? Easily. And but at the same time, they didn't bring up like rookies. They didn't have the rookies many times, like Butch Weiniger on the Minnesota Twins. He's not going to be on your team because they didn't have him. Well, if you play in 76, they won't have Butch Weiniger. Weiniger played in 76. I'm not explaining it well, but it's element. There's you can't care. You just have to play the game. Whoever is on the team is on the team. So yeah, okay. So if you buy the 76 season, right, it's supposed to represent not the 75 season, but the 76 season. But the 75 season didn't have Butch Weiniger. He didn't come up until springtime. They brought him up and he was a starting catcher. Now the game itself had already been disseminated, had already been shipped out, so they're not going to have Butch Weiniger on that 76 team. even though he is the starting catcher for all of 1976. You see, so my example of 77 was confusing because they would have had Weiniger on that 77 team, but that's what happened between. So normally, if you buy Strat, you buy the 76 season and you're playing the, you buy the 76, but you're getting the previous year's stats and teams and rosters and all that, right? However they finished the season. If there was trades and everything, that's what you're gonna get. Nowadays they have double cards and everything for guys that played half the season with one team and half the season with the other. But anyway, long ball is like that. But long ball is a real cool game. Now it does have really tiny font on this big old board that takes up a lot of space on my table. So that's one characteristic of it. Anyway, Isringhausen's going to face Damian Easley here with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the ninth. So the Mets are down to their last out. This will be the third in a row they lose. So I'm doing a terrible managerial job. Should be fired. 35 and bounce to second base. Easy play from Miles at second. Flips over to Pujols at first. And my friends, the ball game is finito. Over. All right. So the final score of this one is St. Louis 7, Mets 5. It was exciting. The Mets came back from 4 down. They took the lead 5-4. But the Mets pitching, which is not very good, they don't have a good bullpen. They don't have a good starting staff. And that's it. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to take a picture of the box score. I'm going to post it on Fall Classic Baseball. And thanks for watching, man. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Be good out there. Be safe and enjoy life because it goes by very fast. And take care.